So we had a quick meeting with the deadlines what you have told us. With those deadlines, we had Sharet where we discussed exclusively that what structural scheme we can go ahead, and Girish has come up with brilliant schemes. So we'll discuss that today.
Sure.
And Rohit also discussed with all his MEP services, and I find that this fungible what I have restricted to 1% and what you have told me that I can go up to 2.5%. I may have to go up to 3%, but wherever it is possible, I'll try to restrict.
Try to limit it to 2.5 to the extent possible.
Okay, again, we discuss extension of the podium, which you gave me as an option. So, Girish, again, have a very good solution there. So, let's understand from Girish and Rohit that what exactly we are going to work with MEP and structural part of it. And let's conclude that today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start first because it deals with some tweaking in the master plan. I gave the values of the separation joints as
Okay.
500 millimeters between two blocks because they should not pound on each other like in earthquake and wind.
In the superstructure only.
Yeah. In fact, I had told the team last time that I would ensure that I would not provide that joint in podium and basements,
Right.
which I have succeeded in achieving. So the joint will start at the podium level. The
Correct.
separation will start at the podium level. Down below, these two neighboring walls will merge. So this wall thickness plus that wall thickness plus 500 will be a large pylon in the basements and podium that you have to account for. Of course, I'm not eating into any carpet area. It is anyway unusable area, but it will be a big pylon that you have to consider.
As long as we are not taking the expansion joints into the substructure of the
We are
basements, we are fine.
not even in podium, so that there is no issue of leakage from the topmost slab
Right.
in any of the floors below. So that was the first point, which I think you are okay with.
Yeah, only thing is I have to look at the open spaces, and that survey is yet pending where we are going with the stringent plot boundary. So
I thought
think
by this meeting you would have done that, but anyway.
Yeah, but Yogesh, I just need that on the priority, that superimposed survey.
Fine.
Yeah,
By this
Because I
weekend.
need the confirmation.
fine. So once that is validated, I'll give you the validation that we can expand that by whatever distance.
Okay, now coming to the tower blocks, I mean, there are actually, there are three buildings separated now with the separation joint, but the types are only two. Okay, this is one type which is repeated, and this is another block.
Correct. That's the
Luxury tower.
luxury
what-
tower on the eastern side.
Absolutely.
That's right. Although what I'm going to talk about the structural system holds valid for this or that, so I'll discuss only on this. So we arrived at a conclusion last time that we will be taking this as the core wall, okay? As the core wall.
Fine.
And can I draw on this now? Because
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
yeah.
You can. Just go ahead.
so now our core is actually from here to there, and this will be our core, okay? With whatever openings. I mean, I'm not restricting you from giving any openings in the shear walls. Now,
Here you will be linking it, right?
yeah,
Okay. So this will be
This
only
will be
this
a
much
beam.
portion will be link beam.
yeah,
All right.
it will be a link beam,
Okay.
okay? So also somewhere here,
Yeah.
here could be. So whatever is in air is a beam.
Okay.
Now there are two options I came up with. So I'll draw both the options on the same plan. So if I go with the dimensions of the core walls given by the architects right in the first place, I will land up with a system having shear walls like this, which they have already considered in their planning. So I'm not doing anything new. Okay.
I have avoided a shear wall here, so is it possible to avoid this shear wall?
Not really. I will need that.
Okay.
Okay, I know you had done it, but I purposely drew it there. And in another option where this is as per architecture, okay, dimensions. But if I slightly tweak the core by making this as 450 millimeter thick, not changing any internal dimensions, I'll tell you how, but I will make this 450, and these walls, this wall, this wall, this wall, I'll reduce because I have increased by 150 here and 150 here. 300 I have increased, right? But I will maintain the external face.
The footprint remains the same.
I'll reduce 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 from here. So your overall internal dimension of the shaft remains the same,
Of the core
Right.
rather.
Okay.
of the core.
Okay.
Right.
Okay? So I'm not changing any external dimension.
Fine.
Similarly, this wall can be made smaller, this wall can be made smaller. So this way also will manage. So I'm not changing any external diameter. But by making that as a 450 thick wall, reducing the internal walls, I'm able to provide a system wherein I will have only flat columns on the perimeter. You can not orient, but you can shift them here or there, whether you want the offset in the bedroom or outside, that you can decide.
Outside offset will go into FSI. So
So you
actually
decide.
I have to take it inside only.
So you decide.
Yeah.
But it's a perimeter frame only. And of course, I have to frame this slab edge as well. This is this thing. But then, rest, entire area is beamless. It's a flat slab. I will have only the perimeter frame. Now, this solves one or two major problems. One is the flexibility of the interior,
Interior layout.
combining the flats. Jodi flats, even slight shifting of toilet
Toilets,
areas here
yeah.
and there by
Exactly.
300 mm, 400 mm. Keeping
We are
your
talking
shaft-
about having no sunk in any of the toilets. He's allowed us 25 mm for waterproofing. Underslung is okay
Underslung.
with you.
Yeah, underslung is
There's
perfect.
no problem.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with this slight tweaking of the core, I'm able to give you a very nice flexible structural system.
This makes sense, except for a small addition. All the balance walls that we have, we would do in a non-structural concrete.
Yeah. Oh,
That is a construction method
Correct.
that we'll discuss later.
Right. So that is the eventual intent.
But you will need ledge walls, right?
See, non-structural concrete, then you have to carefully consider what you're doing for ledge walls. Also, if you're doing a Jodi flat, then anything which is structural in nature will become difficult to.
See, Rohit, everything in orange here is a non-structural wall. So taking any of that away for a joint or a Jodi
I understand
apartment.
from your constructability, I'm just saying that in terms of the flexibility, especially in future, if you want to make any changes, because all the WCs I need to convey the pipes out, so I will then require to have ledge walls in all the toilets.
Can we
Just
go
be
with a
aware of
notch?
that.
Can we go with a notch?
You can, but it's not 100%. Something that you will have issues with it later. But I'm okay. I'm not saying no. For him, it's easy because then the whole thing just goes up and he'll avoid completely this brickwork, plaster,
There's no block work,
water.
brickwork, plastering,
Yeah.
internal, external. If you look at this dead walls, I mean, they go all the way up to 42nd floor. So no scaffolding on the outside face. Future waterproofing issues are resolved.
I'm okay with it. I have no issues. But as long as we are aware of the limitations and what all
That
is
is
required,
understood, yes.
and the ledge walls, whether they are going to be included in the RERA carpet area that you're
They are
considering.
included in the RERA because RERA is going to talk about it is what impacts is a MOFA carpet area. And that's why my question is that if we are thinking about the ledge wall, then my toilet dimensions will go as per that because eventually once the
I
ledge wall
recommend
comes.
minimum depth of 1250, which you have already considered.
Yes, I've considering the ledge wall, I've given slightly healthier toilets, which was a little bit of concerning for the smaller apartments. But I know when we come to the finishing, that's what the challenge we all face.
And are you okay with a single stack system? I will have only, there
Single
will be
stack.
no soil waste and vent, there will be
Yeah,
a single stack. It might allow Gautam the flexibility on the facade because I might, if you say no for a VRF system, and I have to put my outdoor units in each of these bathroom toilet shafts, then you might have some flexibility. But it's a more expensive system. You are aware of that.
Rohit, nowadays we completely avoid putting those outdoor units in the toilet.
In the
because,
toilet shafts.
Yeah, because the accessibility is a big issue. And these shafts, we don't get huge shaft as per new bylaws.
Which is why I'm saying, see, I've gone now. What we do is we have a single downtake for
Correct.
drain for soil, and we also have a telescopic water supply system where there are only two pipes. There's a main spine which goes all the way down and reduces in size. And then for every 8 floors, there is one supplementary water supply line. So I have just 3 pipes. I don't want to keep the outdoor units in the shaft. But if he's not able to accommodate, if the cost of treating those outdoor units is going to go very high, then this is an option which I'm willing to consider. I mean, I can show you all the dimensions right now and what will be required. If it is fitting, it's fine. I mean, if Gautam is able to accommodate everything in the elevation facade and he is able to absorb that cost, I think we are okay.
See, eventually then you need a fresh air, and then I land up into the Z profile.
I
And
can't
that-
allow a Z profile. It can only be a rectangular profile or a profile like an aerodynamic profile, like a jelly bean.
Right.
Z profile is out of question.
It's out of question.
In a high-rise building, what will happen is that the hot air will keep rising,
Absolutely.
and then the units on top will fail.
Right.
So you have to take that into consideration.
Having it in the shaft is a last option for me, but let's see when we are talking about the facade. Let's go back to the
complete
structure.
the
Yeah.
floor plan now.
Yeah.
Now, another decision we took, which is good for both Rohit and me, is shifting. I mean, this space, which was discontinuing my diaphragm action. This was not connected to the core here, and incidentally, Rohit also wanted a shaft inside the core.
So I have 320 cables going up to all those 40 floors. I
Right.
don't want 320 cables. It's a fire hazard. It has to be a rising mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are fine
So-
with the rising.
So this gap we closed in the sense that we increase the core from this line to that line. Now I get
So you push
connectivity of.
back the elevators basically to touch the apartment.
That's right. So I get very firm connectivity of all the wings to the core, which is good for the structure, and he gets one shaft, which is here. So this is the elevator bank, and this is the shaft. This is the shaft. He is happy. I am happy.
No, but you need the openings for the elevators.
So this opening will be
This is
given.
from
Shaft
here.
is here.
There are two elevators.
Shaft is here. Only this much.
See what is going to happen. This is the entry for the service elevator.
Yeah.
So you get cut out on this side,
That's right.
and
This
this
passenger.
get pushed behind, which has an opening from this side. So we are not closing anywhere.
Fine.
Anywhere.
That's the other end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, only comparative what we need to establish is that whatever I'm draining into fungible, as against your savings in your actual structural cost because of this core wall system, and that's where, because substantially fungible component he is going to lose,
That's right.
which is again
Yeah.
a premium payment,
Right.
which is a cost. Which I'm supposed to restrict, but structurally, if you
Right.
are this joint is weaker, so that's where the comparative analysis can lead you to the conclusion.
question that you asked last time, and since Yogesh was not there, I didn't answer. But with this kind of system where I have a very nice closed spinal box and converting all the four wings into gravity systems, I'm reducing the steel consumption almost by 1.5 kg per square foot.
Excellent.
So that is a guarantee from my side. So this will be very economical and very much constructible, very easy to construct.
So if we are doing it for these two elevators, can we do it for these
Same
two
thing.
as well?
Same
Yeah, it has
So
been
it's a
done.
mirror image.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. it
So
has been
that's
done.
where I'm going to drain good amount of fungible into this particular strip, which
Then-
would lead to some percent, which I have to
Right.
work out.
Fine.
Then I get another additional shaft over here, I guess.
It could be a linear.
Rohit, my concern there is that width of the opening has to be 1 square meter, which is a statutory requirement, and then I have to probably shift this all tower footprint. Eventually, then what I asked about the fresh survey, there is a flexibility which I can
Yeah,
see.
we'll see that.
If
So
he
you give me
validates
my
that.
1250 by 750 fire shaft, my ELV shaft. What you have made provision, you are going to accommodate for me.
Yeah, and then I'll see that because expansion joint, open space crunch, and if I'm increasing the length as against the fungible impact, this cohesively give me that how much I can shift the tower or I can elongate it.
We are doing a high pressure, low pressure zone for fire also.
Okay.
So that is going to increase the size of the shaft,
Sure.
but it is going to be easily manageable pressures. So it will be better for us.
So I think that's all from my structure point of view. So next thing, if you are approving this flat slab
I think this
construction,
at this point of time seems the perfect solution.
Yeah.
So flat slab system
So-
and underslung plumbing systems is fine.
And single stack.
Single stack.
so because I don't want to do rework, I'll take it that flat slab is the preferred option.
You are
And then I will give you the column sizes, considering this as a 450 thick core wall. Okay, so that's the next step I'm going to do.
I have proposed podium, which he has already given me okay.
Right.
I was thinking about fourth basement, but he was also of the opinion that he doesn't want to go for a fourth basement. And looking at the strata, I don't know whether it's a feasible solution to go for
See,
a fourth
already
basement.
with 3 basements, there is going to be a big cost on shoring.
yes.
The strata for first 6 meters is very soft soil. Although after that we are getting good weathered rock and hard rock. By the time we reach third basement, we are pounding on hard rock, no doubt. But the top 6 meters soft soil has to be retained, for which I am suggesting and looking at the area where there are a lot of drains and marshy soil and all that. I am suggesting secant piles interlocking into each other
Right.
as the shoring system. So that's the cost. So if you go for another basement, the cost will increase tremendously.
As you go deeper, the cost will increase in
Yeah.
multiples.
Exponentially.
Substantially.
Exponentially.
Yeah.
Just 2 more things that we didn't discuss in the last meeting. All the elevators shafts have to be pressurized
Yeah,
because it is high rise.
true.
And both the staircases
Staircases.
are also non-ventilated to outside. They will also require to be.
One of them will be ventilated outside because that's an
But
NBC need.
let's provide for pressurization of
Second,
both
yeah.
the staircases.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I will be providing, and what you mentioned to me about the 2.5% of ventilation of the
Natural
basement.
ventilation of each basement
Each
has to be 2.5% of the floor area.
So lowermost it will be 7.5%.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge for
Correct.
me,
Correct.
actually.
Correct.
But talking of basements, see, I finished my typical floor plan. In the basements, I need your inputs in terms of locations of STP, UG water tank, DG and transformers, all that. The loadings,
Yeah.
I'll need the loads.
I'll give you the static and dynamic loads for
Absolutely.
the DG.
Yeah.
And
And from
then
you, I
static
will
loads
need,
for all the other devices.
Right.
that's right. I'll need from you the landscape loads. Approximate idea. I know there is no landscape consultant right now in this meeting, but if you can give your basic design parameters, soil fill,
Yeah.
the fire tender path, which you already shown,
I've shown.
but any other
So
structures.
we've been managing soil fill for lawns of even with 300 mm also is very much our landscape consultants have done it. So I think you can consider that at least for your basic calculations till we
No,
get
but
our
if there are any
landscape is. But there will be some areas where there will be some taller trees.
trees also.
So there we might require to either depress the slab and give a larger depth,
And Yogesh, I am thinking of providing flat slabs in all the basements, including the top podium, for the purposes of flexibility,
Diversion of
providing
services. Diversion of services.
So, which is very much possible. Probably we will have to go for post tensioning for the topmost slab. But we'll see. We'll do the calculations and then
So the podium slab.
podium slab. Yeah.
There's only one point what we discussed in the morning. He had just said that you can explore the option of extending the podium.
Right.
And he has given me go ahead. That he is ready to create that sort of a transfer, which not an issue. Now you can revert back to me that do we need to extend that podium? That could have an additional car parking or the retail spaces, and you have to look at the financial feasibility and the revenue when I'm adding that podium as against the construction
What is
cost.
the
and
area
we
that
are-
would be added on the
and
retail is
if-
something I need to know.
Yeah, and then if we are extending that podium, then again that loading and everything is going to change because my landscape area is also
Right.
going to extend.
Right.
So that's where I need a confirmation. Otherwise, everything else looks in order. These two ends, I'm thinking about the Rakely, which I think with Gautam I'm going to exclusively discuss. Even Yogesh has liked that idea. We'll discuss
There was
that.
an additional requirement on both the end walls, I think last time when we discussed Anuja.
Yeah.
So we need some openings.
Yeah, but I had a concern with Chhajja projections coming into
Correct. So
picture.
let's this both the ends, especially this is the premium tower and it has views.
Yeah.
So if we can get some window openings in both the bedrooms.
I have no issue. If you are
Nobody
going
has
for
proposed
flat
for
slab,
columns, yeah.
I have only columns.
Yeah.
3 columns on that face. So in between you can have any.
It's no more sheer wall any which way.
I need to bounce, and so we need to speed up this
Sure.
thing. Yeah. If we can go to facade, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fine.
sure.
All right.
Let's start.
Okay. So Gautam, I've sent you all the images what I have developed. I showed it to him also. He had his comments. Overall, the massing looks okay to him. The crown, he has suggested some additions to me. There are two typologies if you look at it. There are smaller apartments and then there are larger apartments. So in that case, I was thinking about having two schemes of one with unitized system and one with the window wall system.
Right.
I am of the opinion for high rises the chhajjas are important, but at the same time I don't want to restrict myself that I'm not thinking about high rises where ease of construction and all those elements comes into picture. Third aspect of this facade is having outdoor units. If we are not locating into the shafts, then what happens? How we are servicing them? Because installing is okay today, but tomorrow how we are going to maintain them? And
At
that's
the eye level,
where
I need like at least a railing, something that is incorporated in your design that allows my technician to wear a harness, tie himself, hook himself, and then go out.
Yeah, and normally your chhajjas would be about 600 lower than your floor level. So
Absolutely.
even descending down to that area, you'll need some kind of monkey bars and then being able to restrain yourself.
see right now the structural scheme what he has given it to me with the flat slab. If he is approving, it's a 200 mm thickness of the slab, and then there is a drop of 550. So chhajja is going to come out at 550 level, and then I'm going to fix my window. So lower portion will be fixed and the sliding on the top or complete unitized system. But for these smaller apartment, I have to go with chhajja because outdoor units are going to come.
Right.
Kitchen is not sufficient to have all outdoor units coming there, right? So I have to think.
Unless you do a VRF system.
But right now, see, if I have to go for 1 BHK with VRF, I need 1.2, and
No,
that
it's
is going to
unaffordable.
jeopardize
No, you don't need
his
1.2.
unit
You don't need
sizes.
1.2
There is no
because we have
sellability.
front discharge VRV system, VRF systems now, where the depth is only 450.
Oh, is it?
The depth is only 450,
But length?
length is also not that much. It's 1.2.
You can get a top discharge machine as well.
So you can get a top discharge.
A VRF would not fit the bill.
Fit.
Even if the dimensionally it fits, the cost wise, see the cost is still okay because at one time we can afford it, but spare parts, AMC charges, all these things are much higher in a VRF system. As a consultant, I would recommend that the client avoid it as much as possible
I agree.
unless
I agree.
They are looking at IGBC gold.
Sorry, lead gold.
Lead gold
Lead
you're
gold,
looking at,
okay.
okay. So from that criteria, the kind of a glass selection, again structurally, what is happening to your overall facade, kind of materiality, what we are looking at. And if you're opening these ends, then do you need chhajjas, or how you are going to make it no seepages, because that is something which is a straight wall. So that's where how would you look at the facade scheme? What would be your recommendations to us?
So in terms of curtain wall and window wall, is curtain wall application limited to certain areas? Are you trying to highlight it, or will it be everything curtain wall or everything window wall?
See, aesthetically, though, I was of the opinion that I can treat these two towers separately. But what Yogesh is trying to tell me, and I kind of agree with him, that he doesn't want to show within those 3 towers a very distinct separation. So one is wow and one is mediocre. So there we need to balance something. So in that case, what I thought about, I mean, we have worked out even on the end wall sections over here. Right now the beam depth is slightly larger, but with the flat slab it is going to slightly change. So something like this is going to happen if we are providing them into kitchen or over the chhajja. So this is what would fit into the budget, because even you will do the wind tunnel analysis structurally
Yeah.
as well as It is
facade
required from
perspective.
Yeah.
comfort and all these perspective also.
Hmm.
So what would be your recommendation in this case?
So I think window wall is okay to go with, but one thing and it's also friendly from a perspective that you can generate chhajjas out of your structural edge, and then all of your outdoor units can sit there. They can be screened quite easily. The temptation to sort of put a curtain wall on the outside will make these things disappear. So I think that's one thing we'll have to be careful
Not only
about.
that, then on every floor you will end up having a fire curtain, a sprinkler
system.
all around on every floor, which will be very
which is not desirable.
And then doing curtain wall will always increase the expense because you're basically covering your entire front face rather than only limiting yourself to here. What we also recommend is that from an inside out, the experience should not be different between a curtain wall and a window wall. So we would just provide a small threshold here and then take your window down all the way. And from a barrier perspective, it's always advisable, and that all largely depends on the kind of wind loads we have on the building. If the wind loads will govern any other loads, then I think the glass itself will become a barrier. But if it's not, then we will provide a barrier that sits at 1.2 meter levels that will also allow us to generate window opening opportunities above.
So are we going for wind tunnel analysis for this?
Yeah, we
recommend?
should.
I think
we
given
should-
the height, it will
we
be
should,
advisable, yeah.
Because the kind of slenderness that we are talking about, it's a very long building. We have very long face.
For our environmental clearance also, it will be required. We have no
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
MOEF के लिए हमको लगेगा.
Yeah, it'll help us optimize the building better as well.
Yeah.
rather than
Secondly,
just going with the
something
core
that
approach.
people always think that if the long face is facing east and west, there is more wind. Actually, it's not that. You see the orientation of the building, the length is along east and west. So although the majority of wind is going to blow from west, there is something called as crosswind effect. And if the wind is blowing in the direction of the building, the long face of the building, there is a flutter across the direction of the wind, and that is what is going to govern in this building. So although wind is going this way, the building is going to actually sway in north and south direction. So it's very important that we go for wind tunnel. It may cost about 20-25 lakhs, but it's worth it. And for window design also, you need those.
Absolutely.
We definitely should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think another factor is that because of the offsets we have here, there's a lot of corners that get
That's right.
generated, and corners tend to have a higher wind
Turbulence
pressure
and
because of turbulence, and then a vortex detachment that happens
That's
closer
right.
to the end. So I think we'll get a better understanding
Absolutely.
if there are some critical hotspots happening on the building.
That's right.
But can we think about some sort of a scheme where I can make this tower feel exclusive? And what could be that?
From a visibility point of view and also from a marketing point of view, I think there are ways where you can add elements to it. So from inside out, you're still not changing the experience, but you could perhaps have bits of glass. So if I were to sort of translate that onto a layout where wherever you have your master bedrooms, and again, it depends on structural feasibility as well. You could perhaps just wrap this around the corner and give them a nice corner window here, and this could be an entirely a curtain wall glazing that runs up the building.
Okay, so for this tower, is it possible for us to create that kind of a corner window in given structural scheme right now by you?
Yeah, very much possible. What we will do is, while we are doing flat slab structure all over elsewhere, here what we'll do is, we'll have a shear wall only from here to there, and keep that black thing at the corner, So this could be the window, and this will be my shear wall. And rest of the system remains the same. I mean, my column is here and my column is here. All that can remain as it is without changing. Very much possible.
So that's fine. I mean, we'll go with that scheme. I'm assuming this is going to be a fixed class, correct?
Yeah, has to be.
It's really
Right.
high from the safety perspective.
All I want is this dimension, Gautam. Typically, someone sitting on a sofa here, the vision should not be cut. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't want that transfer coming at the vision level when someone is sitting on a sofa, so you can adjust that height accordingly. Going back to the main layout, what Anuja was talking about, we don't want a very clear distinction where this is a luxury tower and this is the premium. We want a gradual, changeover.
Right.
Wherein my sales velocity for this lower priced apartments increases looking at the neighbor, whereas these people are not pushed back for buying an apartment here because this is a low income or low, what do you
Budget.
call?
Understood. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the
Fine.
rationale behind it.
So, based upon this input, I think we'll meet in another 2 to 3 days and discuss again.
What are the timelines?
No, now we need to get to the
Constructability
final.
and all that.
I mean, application is already done. CC should be in hand any time. You have worked on the tender set, so you're aware where we stand with. Rather, you guys know individually where you stand with your design. Now we need to move to the GFCs in the next probably 3 weeks time.
Before that, there will be wind tunnel tests. So,
We'll get
I'll-
that expedited.
I'll give you those parameters
I mean,
to be given.
now
to
we
you.
don't have to go to Canada. It can be done in Chennai.
Yeah.
So that's a quicker
Fine.
turnaround.
We would have loved to go to Canada, but
Yeah, true. But this will be quicker.
okay, fine.
All
So,
right, guys.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Gautam, I think facade we left it somewhere and few things which are yet not resolved. So can we just take all those elements which we didn't discuss last time?
Yeah, so I think largely it's about your FSI line versus your carpet line. I think we are generally in alignment with what's required, but we'll have to go into a little more engineering after we get the wind tunnel test results to see exactly what the system depth needs to be, glass thicknesses, build-ups, etc. We are also talking about getting lead cold.
Gold.
Right, so I think that will have a good overbearing on the overall daylighting. There have been some conversations with Rohit's team that we need to look at a DGU essentially with certain performance parameters that they've already provided to us. We'll go to the market and see what kind of products we can get with that. We've already discussed operable strategies. We've had certain discussions about your outdoor units and access to them and how do we screen them. There are some outline costs established which we've already passed to Yogesh to get some understanding of where we stand on our budgets. So I think in terms of design we have a clear directive. All the big points have been communicated to all the key stakeholders. There are certain areas which I think, given that we are planning to break ground soon, we will have to talk about certain constructability issues which will also come into the program. And I think some elements on the facade will need to get built in right now. So, we can...
I have one thing that I am looking at some element which is for the kitchen dry balconies because somehow I feel that the glass railing doesn't serve the purpose what is required in the kitchen, and it's pretty messy area and it's absolutely used as a utility area. So I'm definitely looking at some good solutions coming
Like a
up for
proper
the shading, and then there is a cloth drying, and that's the reality of the compact apartment, and that's where I need a good solution where from the maintenance perspective we can think about some sort of a jolly or some sort of a metal panels, perforated sheets or something like that, which is camouflaging that kitchen dry balcony and becomes an integral part of my design element. And that's where I'm coming from. I mean, everywhere glass railing or the glass windows is not the criteria, but giving that kind of a solution desired for the purpose is very important. So do you have right now any suggestions, or you want to look into it, that which options you could give it to me?
Yeah, I think there is already some kind of screening elements you will have on your chhajjas for screening your VRV units, or your outdoor units rather. The similar kind of approach could be adapted for your dry balconies as well. Essentially, you have a washing machine there, you'll have at least one outdoor unit there, some piping going down, and then like you said, people use the balance space for drying clothes and other things. So I think it will be ideal if we screen the entire thing, which could either be with sort of extruded profiles as a screen, or it could be perforated. I think we could look at different options there, including finishes, and what kind of architectural impact does it have on your design.
Okay, and Yogesh, I have one suggestion that discuss with your marketing team that if we think about this dry balcony becoming a part of the kitchen, then it could be just a partial opening, and it is much cleaner and neater space. Because
Typically, I mean, let Rohit also weigh in on that. You want the dry balcony to be slightly sunken because you have a washing machine over there. Even if AC, when servicing, you expect you need a drain outlet over there that needs to be sunken from your kitchen floor.
yeah,
Rohit.
so I'm going to
So
have
that
that
is
fold.
going to happen, no?
Yeah,
You're
that
going to
fold
take
is
it
going to
out.
happen in the kitchen area.
Correct. So
6
then what do you
inches,
mean by taking it
150
inside?
mm is enough.
I'm saying that in that case the entire kitchen this becomes an exterior wall and I'm fixing the window on this side. I mean, some developers do that too. So this remains as an opening, and this is neat, clean detail. But this could be a nice nip sort of a thing, and then I have some sort of a jali detail or something like that, and this remains as a opening. But more sturdier and more solid elements you have, and aesthetically I'm just adding few panels to it.
You mean not a railing?
Not a railing.
Not a railing, not a railing. Rather, this has to be solid in that
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
So
So
it will be a structural element only which
Yeah, yeah.
he would build into his design.
Yeah.
Right.
More like a parapet wall.
So basically what we are talking
and
about
I can
is
knock off this
a
wall and this itself
from
like
lower floor to
a
here.
platform ending over here.
It's continuing like this.
Correct. So platform ending and not a wall. I knocked that out. I have a kitchen sink and wash basin, and this further gets extended. So even that could be the option for the smaller apartment, which will substantially save the cost, as well as the detail from the maintenance perspective could be much better.
You may have to look at the scenario where our columns have to remain in this line because of the building profile. Correct?
Absolutely.
And because my system is flat slab, I will need a beam connecting the columns.
Right.
So while you are opening up into the trap balcony, you will still see those offsets of the beams and
Right,
columns,
right.
which you will have to take care of.
Right. Right.
This is fine. I mean, we can look at it. So if you can develop a few, options on it, and then let Gautam specify the opening that he requires, both from a visual aesthetic perspective from the outside as well as for the ventilation of the outdoor unit.
Right.
If you are going for a non-VRF system, remember the outdoor units have to be pretty close to the indoor unit. So if it is in the living room, then my indoor unit will be on the above the living room window, and we provide a sleeve and come out. So you will end up having that kind of camouflaging on that side also. We can't get that clean, clear glass elevation. You please keep that in mind. I mean, that's something that is unavoidable.
And then the exterior facade cost is going to be substantial when we think
Here
about
rather
the
it
UPVC.
reduces, Anuja.
Yeah,
Like you said,
yeah.
here rather it reduces. And if it's broken, it would look much better for a residential purpose rather than looking like a pure commercial building with the glass envelope.
Yeah,
Agreed.
but Yogesh, right now what he is pointing out, I have considered few which are slightly away from the indoor units, and that time then the
So then
performance
it
is a
becomes-
issue.
See, for me, I need to drain my indoor units. So I need condensate drain which is insulated. So then I'll end up having to put an additional drain outside if I don't have a shaft close by. And if you're taking it far away, then my copper piping has to go concealed in either you'll have to put a false ceiling, which is again going to be a cost to you. So just consider all these things before. I feel that we should take it as close to the outdoor unit as possible while providing an additional condensate drain separately. But we combine 2 units
So
or 3
now,
units as much as possible.
correct. So looking at all these elements and lead gold, what should I look at as a cost per square feet for facade? And not only that, later on, even from the management of construction and later on from the maintenance perspective, what is going to happen? That's something which I wanted to understand.
So, from a lead gold costing perspective, I think if we are trying to really place some of the more premium end of this building in the market, then I think the kind of products you will end up putting there will automatically qualify or get you close to lead gold. In other areas, if we are trying to get a more energy efficient building, we might have to start looking at tweaking the window to wall ratio a little bit. To get adequate daylights, we might have to introduce chhajjas. So instead of just putting double glazing everywhere, high performance glass everywhere, we might have to just make some modifications to the low end
more,
design.
Solid shading elements is what you are saying. That will
Exactly.
give us both the benefits. Yeah, that's fine.
Fine. Another thing I wanted to discuss with you guys is
What are our timelines? I mean, when?
yeah, we'll come to that. So, looking at the structure itself, it's
Yeah.
going to be in a aluminum formwork system.
Perfect.
So, like we discussed Girish last time, all internal walls,
Yeah.
though they are non-structural,
Right.
they will be cast in concrete as a single
Yeah.
go.
Perfect.
So that is something that we'll have to account for.
Yeah.
You might have to give the dimensions that is easy to pour,
Yeah.
not less than 100 or 110 mm, but
Yes.
they satisfy the
My
requirement as
minimum
well.
depth of electrical back boxes is 40 mm. So if it is a bedroom which is back to back, then I have to offset
You'll
my
have to
back
offset the
boxes.
switch boxes, so that you'll have to take care.
So 100 is good enough, right?
100 should be good enough.
You had a point about Recli to be introduced somewhere, right?
Yeah, but right now if we are opening with the corner windows, there is very less area is left for me for the Recli. Still, it would give me a good finish and it looks a little more innovative and nice. I can go with the patterns.
Yeah.
So
I mean, from a Recli perspective, I think one of your scheme doesn't really work well because where you're trying to do these pink areas is structural and then the orange is non-structural. Recli would ideally be just one surface where you have form liners on the entire formwork.
So
Yeah,
this will
so-
that can
so
be
this will be entire structural wall.
a shear
I
wall,
just
yeah,
said that,
yeah.
It would be a wall. It would be a single wall,
Yeah.
end to end.
Yeah.
Only thing, what I was requesting is if we could get some openings in this.
Sure,
Right.
we can.
yeah for
but we are thinking about the corner window. So now if the window surface is already increased, then probably you don't need.
I don't think that corner window leg would be more than 450. I don't think Girish would give anything more than that.
But in that case, the window detailing will be a big trouble.
yeah. I mean, we
Because
can
that
we
corner
can discuss.
We
section-
can discuss, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think one option is to have 3 columns, the other one is to have a full shear wall. We could
Absolutely.
probably
Yeah.
reduce it a little more to get a.
It's a fabulous element. I mean, if it can be introduced.
I mean, that is something
in terms of
which
an
is-
elevation treatment. It's
No, as I said, again I'm saying this is not a lateral load system, so let's not worry about that.
Right.
This is a gravity system. So as long as I get the cross-sectional area of these 3 columns together
Oh,
at one place,
Wonderful,
I'm happy.
wonderful,
Right.
great.
Right. So Yogesh, your overview of management this whole project, because pretty challenges.
Yeah, so with, like I said, to start with, we don't want to go deeper than 3 basements. Last time I think we had a discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shore piling costs will
Yes,
increase, I
yes.
mean, exponentially. So excavation limited to 3 basements. We are getting a good founding substrate
Yes.
at the 3rd basement itself.
Yes.
You talked about the phase wise. So how you want to phase it out? Because with the fire engine access and your CCs and your IODs in place, how you want to phase it?
Correct. So we want to open up with Tower 1, which is on the east side,
Okay.
which is the premium tower, and T2 and T3 will follow based on the sales velocity.
So it's not really long-term phasing.
It's not a long-term phasing.
One
So-
follows the other.
Correct.
And
As soon
podium
as
will be completed in any case.
podium will be completed in
So
any
that
case.
solves your problem.
But
Yeah.
you have a repetition over here. Still, you want to start with this tower first?
We want to start with Tower 1 first based on the,
Sales.
inputs.
That worries me because if he gets the better velocity, he might come back and tell us that go with the luxury towers.
Yeah,
huh?
we might do that. Tower 2 and 3 might get converted to the luxury
Yeah.
tower concept.
based on your traction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chalo.
Yeah.
I think they are asking us to vacate the conference room. So can we
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
up
No,
with
even I have to leave.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Can we finish
anyone
up?
else, if you have anything, if not, we have to move to GFCs. We are
Right.
almost on the verge of getting the
Right, so-
contractor finalized.
So cast in situ walls and this thing.
Walls will be cast in situ, so there's no block work, gypsum plastering. That all is avoided.
Right.
We will go with simple punning of the walls.
What about facade fixing? You
Will
want
the slab
cast in
system
channels
be?
or
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer cast-in channels if we are going with a curtain wall. But if it's largely a window wall, we can just do anchors. But with flat slab, are we actually considering any post-tensioning or no?
no?
Okay,
No
then-
post tensioning in the towers.
At all? Okay. Okay.
Yogesh, you need to finalize the Revit coordinator.
Yes.
Yeah, because now as we are closing the concept, moving
We will
towards
move
the
on to a
schematic.
BIM 3D model.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but I think I suggest and propose that it should be architects and you should hold the overall model, put it on a server, and we'll keep accessing, modify it, and then. put
yeah,
it
but
back.
the structural and MEP modifications.
we'll do it at
We
our
will do
end.
it from our end.
But in the
But
same
you
server.
appoint a coordinator from your side who we can talk to.
So
whenever
you
there
own the
is-
model, Anuja, basically. The architect owns the model and the other consultants, add on to it for their respective trades.
Fine. All
Agreed.
right.
Works fine.
So by end of this week, can we at least have a schedule from you guys as to when the GFCs can start rolling?
Certainly, yes.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Fine.
Please update your TBRs.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for decisions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.